Good day everyone! Today, we're going to discuss how to solve polynomial equations. So let's have first the definition of a polynomial equation. Polynomial equation is generally expressed in the form a sub n x raised to n plus a sub n minus 1 x raised to n minus 1 plus and so on up to a sub 2 x squared plus a sub 1 x plus a sub 0 is equals to 0, where x is a variable and a sub n minus 1, a sub 2, a sub 1, a sub 0 are coefficients. And the degree of a polynomial equation is the highest exponent. So, ang pinakamataas na exponent sa isang polynomial equation is called the degree of a polynomial equation. And it tells us how many solutions or roots can be found in a polynomial function. Let's have the fundamental theorem of algebra. If p of x is a polynomial equation of degree n, and with real coefficients, then it has at most n real roots. And the roots of a polynomial equation are the values of x where p of x is equal to 0. That's why roots are called 0. Let us count the roots of polynomial equation. Directions. By inspection, determine the number of real roots of each polynomial equation. Roots of multiplicity n are counted n times. So let's try to count the roots of number 1. X minus 4 times x plus 3 squared times x minus 1 cubed equals to 0. So how many number of real roots are there? Correct. We have 6. Okay, let us count. Exponent lang ang bibilangin natin, ha? X minus 4. So, this is the first factor. So, meron tayong 1. Sa x plus 3, we have the exponent 2. Ibig sabihin, dalawang beses sa x plus 3. So, 1 plus 2. So, we have 3. At meron pa tayo ditong another 3. So, we have 6. Number 2. X times x plus 3 times x minus 6 squared is equals to 0. So, let us count the number of real roots. And you are correct. We have 4. So, bilangin natin. So, dito muna tayo. So, first factor which is x. Meron na siyang exponent na 1. So, count na natin yung 1. And then, x plus 3, another 1. X minus 6 is 2. So, 1 plus 1 plus 2. So, we have 4. Number 3. X cubed minus 8. And x raised to 4 plus 1 equals to 0. So, how many real roots are there? So, we only have 1. Okay? Reason, si x raised to 4 plus 1, pag sinolve natin to, it will give us undefined values of x. So, pag sinolve naman natin si x cubed minus 8, it will give us 1 real root. So, let us try to solve polynomial equations. So, ang tatandaan lang natin, una, the number of real roots in the equation is less than or equal to the degree of the equation. And we need to express each polynomial as a product of linear factors. Then, apply the zero product property. If a times b equals 0, then a equals 0 or b is equals to 0. For each linear factor, properties of equality can be applied. Let us find all real roots of the following equation. Let's start with number 1. We have x minus 1 squared times x plus 5 is equals to 0. Kung papansinin natin po ang given, this is already in factored form. So, we are going to use the zero product property. So, alamin muna natin ang number ng roots na meron. So, we have 3. Parang kanina lang. So, bilangan natin sa exponent. So, we have 2 and 1 and then 2 plus 1 is 3. So, since meron tayong 3 roots, so maglagay na tayo ng tatlong blank for the roots. Now, isolve natin. Start tayo with the first factor. X minus 1 squared equals to 0. And the other factor, x plus 5 equals to 0. So, in-apply natin ang zero product properties. And then, solve for x. Get the square root of both sides by extracting square root. So, we have x minus 1 equals 0 and x is equals to 1. Since the exponent is 2, ibig sabihin meron tayong dalawang roots. At dahil isa lang ang nasolve natin, ibig sabihin we have 2 equal roots. So, we have positive 1 and another 1. For the third root, we have x plus 5 equals to 0. And then solve for x, we have x is equals to negative 5, which is the third root. So, we are done. The roots are 1, 1, and negative 5. Example number 2. X raised to 4 minus 5x squared plus 4 is equals to 0. So, in this case, ang given natin ay hindi naka-factored form. So, ano-ano nga ba ang mga dapat nating tandaan? We need to identify the leading coefficient. Represent natin siya as Q. The leading coefficient is the coefficient of the term with the highest exponent. So, we have 1. And then, the constant term, we have positive 4. And then, identify natin lahat ng mga possible roots. So, ang gagawin lang natin, get the factors of constant term divided by the factors of the leading coefficient. Now, let us determine the possible roots. We have positive negative 1, positive negative 2, and positive negative 4. Okay, saan galing yung 1, 2, and 4? These are the factors of 4. Kasi nga, 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. Yung mga factors ng 4, i-divide lang natin siya sa leading coefficient which is 1. So, ito pa rin naman ang lalabas na sagot. Okay? Then, determine the number of roots which is the degree of the polynomial which is 4. So, maglagay lang tayo ng 4 na blank. And then, mamaya, i-rewrite natin siya in factored form. Okay? So, tandaan nyo yung mga possible roots ha. Positive negative 1, positive negative 2, and positive negative 4. Kasi gagamitin natin siya dito sa ating next step. Okay? So, we are going to use synthetic division to find the roots. So, kung naalala nyo yung synthetic division, puro coefficients lang ang gagamitin natin. So, let's have 1, 0. Bakit 0? Kasi wala namang x cubed sa given. So, we need to write 0. Followed by x squared. So, we have negative 5. Wala ring x. So, we have another 0. And then, the constant, we have 4. So, gawa tayo ng ating box for the divisor. Kung naalala nyo ang ating mga possible roots, kuha na tayo ng mga number doon. So, unahin natin yung pinakamababang number which is 1. So, unahin natin ang positive 1. Now, let us use synthetic division. Bring down the first number. 1 times 1 is positive 1. Then, add positive 1 times 1 ulit. Positive 1. And then, add negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. 0 minus 4 is negative 4 times 1 equals negative 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. So, since the remainder is 0, therefore 1 is a root. So, meron na tayong isang root na nakuha, which is 1. Ilista na natin siya dun sa ating answer sheet. Next. Let us do continuous synthetic division. So, pag sinabi natin continuous synthetic division, kung ano yung naging sagot natin kanina, ito na mismo ang gagamitin natin as dividend. Magdadagdag na lang tayo ng divisor. So, kung nagamit na natin si positive 1, pwede nyo namang ulitin ulit si positive 1 or pwede kayo mag-proceed sa iba pang possible factor. So, let us try naman si negative 1. Bring down the first number and then times negative 1. So, we have negative 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 times negative 1 is 0. Negative 4 plus 0 is negative 4. Negative 4 times positive 1 is positive 4. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So, therefore, the remainder is 0. Negative 1 is also a root. Sulat na natin si negative 1. So, dalawa na lang ang naiiwan. Continue natin. Continuous division pa rin tayo. Let us try 2 for positive 2. Bring down the first number 1 times 2. So, we have 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4, negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So, 0 ulit. Since the remainder is 0, therefore 2 is a root. And then, lista na natin ulit ang ating next root. Isa na lang ang natitira natin. So, we have, let us try negative 2 naman. 1, bring down 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. So, kung papansin ninyo, para malaman natin na yung given, yung ginamit natin na divisor is a root of the given polynomial equation, kailangan ang remainder niya ay 0. So, dito papasok yung factor theorem. So, kapag ang given na expression or number na ginamit natin sa synthetic division ay nag-0 ang remainder, ibig sabihin, it is a factor and this is also a root. Okay, so we have now negative 2. Let's have another solution. So, ito ginagamit kapag dalawa na lang na root ang nawawala. We have x raised to 0, x raised to 1, and x squared. Lagyan lang natin ng variable x. And then, simplify natin. We have x squared. Since 0 na yan, huwag na ilagay. Negative 4, x raised to 0 is simply negative 4. And then, equate it to 0 and solve for x. So, in this case, ang gagamitin natin ay factoring or extracting square root. So, pwede siya kahit alin dyan sa dalawa. So, this time, ang gagamitin natin ay factoring. So, the factors of x squared minus 4 are x minus 2 and x plus 2 since this is the difference of two squares. And then, using the zero product property, we have x minus 2 equals 0 and x plus 2 is equals to 0. Solve for x. So, we have x is equals to positive 2 and x equals negative 2. So, ito rin yung nakuha natin kanina using continuous synthetic division. So, the other roots are 2 and negative 2. So, after getting the roots of a polynomial equations, paano natin siya i-rewrite in factored form? So, unahin natin yung first root niya, which is positive 1. Pag nire-write natin siya in factored form, we have x minus 1. So, tingnan nyo yung pattern. Positive, pero pagdating sa factor, it becomes negative. So, palit lang tayo ng sign. So, kung ang given naman ay negative 1, we have x plus 1. Kung positive 2, x minus 2. Negative 2 is x plus 2. Ano na lang ang kulang natin? Equals to 0 para makumpleto ang equation. And, that's it. Let us now discuss the Descartes rule of signs. Ano ang sinasabi sa Descartes rule of signs? If you count the number of times the signs of the numerical coefficients change when the terms are arranged in descending order, then you will get the number of positive and negative roots to that polynomial equation. So, itong Descartes rule of signs, ginagamit natin siya para malaman natin kung ilan ang positive root at ilan ang negative roots kahit hindi pa natin sinasolve ang equation. Let us try this one. Complete the table on the possible combinations of positive and negative real roots of each polynomial equation using the Descartes rule of signs. So, let us try number 1. Kopyahin natin muna yung given. Ang sabi sa Descartes rule of sign, kailangan naka-arrange ang polynomial from the highest degree to the constant. And then, titingnan lang natin yung magpapalit ng sign. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan yung dalawang magkasunod magpapalit ng sign. Yun ang bibilangin natin for positive roots muna tayo. So, positive, nag-negative. That is check, nagpalit ng sign. Negative to positive, check, nagpalit ng sign. Positive to negative, it's also a check, nagpalit ng sign. So, therefore, it has 3 positive roots. Okay, so para naman malaman natin yung mga negative roots, lahat ng x natin ay palitan natin ng negative. Okay? And then simplify natin. So, magkakaroon tayo ng negative x cubed na. And then, positive x times 8 times negative 8 is negative 8. And then, so ito na yung simplest form. Saka natin bilangin yung magpapalit ng sign. So, negative to negative. So, it's not. Negative to negative is not. Negative to negative is not. So, it means it has no negative roots. So, tama naman. Kasi yung number 1, the degree of the given polynomial equation is 3. So, it means ang maximum na number ng roots na meron ng equation na to ay 3. So, if it has 3 positive real roots, so therefore, wala na siyang negative real roots kasi tatlo lang talaga yung maximum. And the total number of roots is 3. Thank you for listening.